Welcome back to Richo Hobby and Art. Today I'm going to talk about my 1950s wind-up car. I got this from my dad. He had it growing up. Now I'm guessing this is a 1950s Ford. It does say Ford on the front, but it's mainly because of this spinner. The little spinner they had on the front. I used this book, Cars of the Fabulous 50s. This is what I use. I have the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 40s. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Very helpful in figuring out cars after I've been to a car show or something. Here's that spinner on the front, just like on the car. And this 1950s is very much when you had this. Now this one, it's got 4 doors. Things like this Crestliner only have 2. This is a Crestliner 2-door. And, but if you look in here, that kind of continues with this one. All V8 engines for these ones. And back then they did have model names, but they were just sort of known as a 1954. So this was a 1954. It does have the split window, has the 8-inch spinner on the front. It doesn't have the kind of cover over the rear wheel as some of them did, but it has, you know, the raised indentation here on the back and even the trunk. It says Ford back there. It's a very interesting little car. So like I said, this was my dad's. I remember playing with this back in the 1980s when I was a kid, visiting his parents' place, my grandparents. Has a nice bumper on the back. There were probably some sort of headlights on the front that came out at some point, I'm guessing, because there's holes there. It had been played with, that's for sure. Kind of a reflective glass on the windshield, as well as on the side windows and the other side windows, and even the back windshield. Nothing happens with this. I mean, doors don't open. This is from the 1950s. This is not the 1980s where doors opened, or the 2000s where who knows what. I mean, now, do you even have cars anymore, or do you just watch it on a computer? I don't know. So, anyway, here's the underside of it. We got, you know, it looks like a straight piece of metal that's been punched and, you know, punched for the holes, but also for some of the axle connectors, and then attached to the chassis, the main body of the car, with some bolts or some connectors. There is corrosion on the bottom. I have not thought of doing anything about that. Where I'm going to keep it, the corrosion will not continue. This had been kept for years in an attic in an Iowa farmhouse with no climate control whatsoever. So the corrosion is not surprising to me. I probably could clean some of this corrosion off and at least wax the bottom of this. From my metals conservation training, I certainly could do that. But does it work? You know, does it work as a toy? The turner still turns, and the gears still work sometimes. It's not every time, but there we go. But is it enough? There's still a good motor inside. That's impressive. But does it work, say, on the floor? Well, let's go out to the garage and give it a little test drive.